What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So, yes, USC did get another defensive end transfer from the portal, and Jack Sullivan from Purdue. He's about 6'5", 250, so pretty much average defensive end. So, hopefully, he will become a bit better because he's been in college for about 4 years now, and every single year he's gotten better, and his last season being his best. So, hopefully, being at USC for his last grand year in college, that COVID year, the extra year that you get now, he'll hopefully be able to be productive for a crappy USC defense. So that's all we could hope for. And when it comes to the Duke Blue Devils, yes, they had a pretty tough game up there in Boston against Boston College. I know they played recently and Duke did beat them pretty handily, but this one went down to the wire. Duke had a lead, but of course they gave it up, and they had to make a couple of plays, especially in that last minute special defensive plays from Mark Mitchell. Ended up getting that victory, 65-64, and Derek Whitehead ended up stepping up at 18 points, had a couple threes as well, so he was the more consistent scorer, and they did not have Jeremy Roach, their leader, as well, so they were able to get this victory on the road. And I was just upset with Tyrese Proctor. He's making a lot of questionable plays, and every single time the ball went towards him the last couple minutes, it just was either a turnover or he did not make the correct read or play, and it was just bad. So I don't know why he's in, especially at that time. I kept going back in between, and I was wondering why Jalen Blakes wasn't in there, because I know he was still on the bench and stuff. So I don't know, but yes, they did get the victory, their first ACC victory of 2023, and hopefully they can keep it going for the rest of this season. When it comes to Austin Jones, the USC running back, I had mentioned that since USC did get that running back in Marshawn Lloyd from South Carolina, that maybe older guys like Austin Jones or Darwin Barlow would end up going into the portal. And as of this second, it looks like Austin Jones is going to be returning for another year, most likely his final season in college. So that's pretty good to have some more veteran type of dudes. He still might be the second string running back just because Lloyd looks like the more athletic, better, diverse type of running back. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's definitely very excited about this whole situation because he's looking like at least we get some veteran leadership returning. We are losing some guys who've been around the USC program for a while. The defensive lineman Brandon Peely and the tight end Josh Follow. Two guys, especially Follow, he was like a four-star guy coming out of high school, and you thought he was going to turn out to be something special. But especially this last season, every time I saw him he was always kind of playing the H-back or the back tight end closer to the quarterback, which is more of like them using him more as a blocking tight end. And there was one game he might have caught 2 touchdown passes. I don't know if he caught any more after that. I think that was just during the first Utah game. But overall, yeah, not that great of stats. And I didn't know both of these guys could probably return. Maybe they could have with another COVID year, because I know they've been injured as well. Probably had medical red shirts. But I guess they both had decided to enter the NFL draft coming up in a couple months. So good luck to them. I think it would have been crazy for them to take up a roster spot just because they both had not been very productive. Even Peely as well, very big dude, defensive lineman, and for some reason never made as many plays as I thought he was going to as well. So good luck to them in their near NFL future, and hopefully they can make an NFL roster coming up. Then the Anaheim Ducks played the other day against the San Jose Sharks, ended up getting that victory in overtime, 5-4. So once again, not that much to speak about them, but they are kind of creeping up here and there as far as victory. So we'll see what they can do. Then when it comes to Caleb Williams, yes, over the weekend he has been promoting and doing stuff for the college football playoff and the tailgating stuff, even though there really isn't going to be tailgating, or at least alcohol is not involved. So everybody's like, why can't we have alcohol while we tailgate and stuff before the game? So it's a big thing that I don't know what the city of Los Angeles is doing, but he is out there doing radio shows and different TV shows and stuff, being interviewed, and he ended up actually signing another NIL deal while he's in college with AT&T. So that's one of the pretty big companies out there as far as like especially promoting college football stuff, so he's going to be one of the top guys out there, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be in a commercial at some point, because that's what happens when you come to USC. Not only the benefits of getting that NIL deal and making some money with that company, but you could also get into commercials as well, and I'm pretty sure he'll be with that annoying AT&T chick, Lily or whoever she is. I don't know. Anytime somebody's been too much on a commercial, like the State Farm guy and the Progressive Girl Flow, they get annoying after so many freaking years, like, of seeing them so long. But I'm pretty sure he'll be in one of her commercials in the near future, so we'll see. Then at least 4 ex-USC wide receivers have made the top 30 NFL lists as far as receiving yards this year. So they did pretty good. Amon-Ra St. Brown was the highest. He had 1,161, and he ended up beating the Green Bay Packers last night, which kept them from going to the playoffs, so congrats to him. Michael Pittman Jr. of the Colts ended up with 925. That's not bad. Juju Smith-Schuster had 933, which was surprising because he seemed to be in and out of the lineup because of injury, but still was productive, I guess. And then Drake London, with the amount of yards that he did have, 866, it seems like he should have more because he did miss a couple games because of injury, but he did have some of the worst quarterback play out of all these guys. So if he did have a better quarterback, I think he would have beaten all of these guys' numbers, in my opinion. So congrats to those guys, and see what their immediate future holds in the NFL next season. Because, all these guys are not playing in the playoffs, which sucks for them. And when it comes to the Chargers, yes, they did lose their final game to the Broncos yesterday, which it did not matter because Baltimore lost earlier in the day to Cincinnati, so they weren't going to move ahead of them. So either way, if the Chargers won or lost, they would still stay in that 5 spot. And it's kind of dumb because they let their starters play for quite a bit, and even Mike Williams, their second best wide receiver, ended up being carted off the field because of some type of back injury. The coach says he could have still played or is fine, but still you don't want to mess with playoff injuries or anything like that when it comes to the Chargers. And I think a couple other guys, even Joey Bosa left early, but they said that was nothing. A couple other guys as well, but hopefully nothing too significant in the injury department. But they did find out that they are officially going to be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville, so that should be interesting. I think that's one of the first 2 games this weekend coming up on Saturday, so see what they can do. I know this is the matchup that I wanted, just because I think the Jaguars are kind of just barely getting better at this point. They did struggle for quite a bit in the middle of the season, even though the Chargers have been on a nice win streak, so I'm a little bit more confident in them, especially with a lot more of the healthier guys they are getting back. But it should be a very interesting game. I knew the NFL really desperately wanted Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence matchup in the playoffs. Both guys, the first time being in the playoffs, and they're facing against each other, so definitely going to be a really publicized game because it is the second game in prime time on that day, so everybody's eyes will be watching it. So hopefully the Chargers don't let me down and end up getting that victory. I know the other matchups were there as well. I think it was Seattle and San Francisco. Obviously, I got to go with San Francisco, not only because they're the better team, obviously because my mom and sisters follow them as well, so I got to go with the home team. Then there was Miami versus Buffalo. Obviously, Buffalo's been the better team this year, so I'm going to go with them. And it might set up a nice matchup later, so I'll get into that. But, of course, I had Josh Allen this year in fantasy football, which did not go well because of the unfortunate stuff that happened during the Monday night game, and they ended up canceling that game. So this last week of Yahoo Fantasy Football did not officially count. So I did not end up getting that victory, even though I think I had a shot because I had Josh Allen and Joe Mixon, and I was only about 35, 40 points away from victory. So I ended up in 4th place. But I'll move on. We all will move on when it comes to, New York Giants and Minnesota. Obviously, I like Minnesota because they have the better record. They are the better team. But sadly, one of my ex-uncles that passed away recently, that was one of his favorite teams, Minnesota. And crazy ever since we heard of his passing. They've been on that crazy win streak and winning these crazy down to the wire games. So I think Minnesota has this type of luck that you got to just go with. And it might be an interesting matchup because if them and San Francisco win, they could meet up in the next round, which would pit my uncle's team versus my mom's team, which would be a good overall experience, I think, in the next round. So hoping for that. Then Baltimore versus Cincinnati. I'm going with Cincinnati just because don't know about the status of Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. He's missed the last 5 games due to injury and did not even play in this last one. So if he does somehow come back and is on fire, because he has won the MVP before, then you just never know with Baltimore. But hoping to get Cincinnati into the next round because they will get to play Buffalo. So now we'll get that official rematch that we've all been pretty much waiting for. So I'm pretty sure that game will be highly contested, and I think it will actually be played in Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I think if the Chargers win, then they get to play, of course, the number 1 team in Kansas City. So that's fun. Someone who they're used to, but trying to think if they were 1-1 this year. I don't know. They've played the Chiefs early in the season, so I kind of forgot. And the last matchup was Dallas versus the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. Obviously, I think Dallas would be the team. They had a better record, even though they are going to be on the road because Tampa Bay won their division, which might help Tom Brady to play in that weather, but he would have been playing in a dome, but it is on the road. And Dallas seems to falter in the playoffs, but we'll see. Obviously, I would prefer Tampa Bay, but you never know about Dallas because they are pretty okay this year. And then when it comes to the Lakers, yes, they did have a couple victories last week. I think they've been on a 5-game winning streak. They did play their second game against the Atlanta Hawks, ended up getting that victory 130-114. It completed the sweep of that Eastern Conference team. And a guy who surprisingly stepped up was Kendrick Nunn. He ended up going with 23 points, was like 9 for 16 from the floor. So overall, it was a good game from him. And yes, LeBron James and everybody else did play except Anthony Davis, but this guy was the bright spot. Nunn coming off the bench. Then they also played the Sacramento Kings the other day. Ended up getting that victory 136-134. So it's a very close game every time they've played the Kings. I think the Kings have won even going back to the preseason this year. It's been like 5 other times or 4 other times, something like that. But the Lakers finally got this victory. And yeah, I think there was a controversial last play call that maybe Russell Westbrook might have fouled De'Aaron Fox shooting that shot, but it looks like during replay it wasn't. So they should stop crying already. And yeah, because of this win streak that the Lakers have, they are technically in the 11th place spot, but they are somehow record-wise only 1 game behind the team in 6th place. So if they win and tonight's game against Denver, they should go all the way up from 11 to 6 or something like that. But they did have some help because a lot of the teams ahead of them are losing as well. Clippers, Suns, teams like that are on a couple bad losing streaks. So yeah, it's pretty nice. The Lakers are undefeated so far in 2023 and doing it without Anthony Davis, but we'll see if they could keep it going, for my sanity. So yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. And yes, the National Championship is tonight. Might talk about it the next, just to say who the winner was, but it is TCU versus Georgia. Got to go with Georgia. They seem to be the more superior team. TCU kind of has that Minnesota Vikings magic this year, so we'll see if it runs out or not tonight. But yes, definitely looking forward to that around 4:30 or 5 o'clock tonight. So yes, like I said, thanks for watching. Bye.